Peace and love, family. It's your girl Yinka, your favorite womb goddess, and I am back with another video teaching the girls how to tap into their goddess energy. If we are meeting for the first time, welcome. Go ahead and pull up a chair and hit that subscribe button if you are looking for content to help you to be more into your feminine energy, to heal your womb space and womb trauma holistically, and overall have a better quality of life by tapping into your goddess frequency. You are in the right places. So go ahead and pull up, hit that subscription button, and do not forget to hit that notification bell because we go live every single night so that I can have these deep conversations with you guys so that we can get on our wellness journey, okay? So if you guys are not new and you are back, thank you for coming back. I am so glad that I was able to serve you enough that you decided to come back. So thank you for coming back. And you already know what to do. Go ahead and hit that like and that share button so that we can get in good graces with the YouTube guys, okay? So today, as you guys can see, we are talking about why you are energetically drained as an empath. So the intention of this video is to, for one, identify what an empath is, the responsibility of an empath, so to speak, and how to protect your energy as an empath or someone who works with energy on a daily basis. So if that is something that you're interested in, go ahead and keep watching and make sure you give me a thumbs up at the end of this video if you get any value from this content. So let's go ahead and get started, you guys. So what is an empath? A lot of people say, you know, I'm an empath. I feel everything everybody else is feeling, blah, blah, blah. But do I think everybody is an empath that says they're an empath? Absolutely not. A lot of people are not really empaths. They just are sensitive to energy. Like they are an open vessel. I'm a PK, and my grandfather used to always say, you know, when somebody comes to the altar and you see them, you know, getting demons cast out of them or they're getting healed from at the altar, make sure you in the back if your life ain't together, because energy does not die. It just transfers. And if it's a negative energy, whether it's negative or positive, but if anything is being, any energy is dying within one being, all it's going to do is transfer to the next open vessel. So that does not necessarily mean just because you feel everything around you that you are an empath. It just means that you're sensitive to energy. So how do you know if you're an actual empath or not? One of the first ways to know is that you don't just feel energy of the people that you like or the people that you are close to. You feel it with everybody. You're able to feel this with everybody. It doesn't matter whether you like them, whether you don't like them, whether you know them, whether you don't know them, whether you agree with them or whether you don't agree with them. You still can feel their energy and understand exactly what it is that they're going through. This could be the same thing for, you know, somebody who might be, you know, an abuser, a child abuser, or someone who, you know, is a serial killer, or somebody who's, you know, whatever the case is. They could be the most disgusting person that you can think of. As an empath, you still can understand their ideology. You can understand their thought process. You can understand that is a true empath. If you only can feel the energy of your friends, you can only feel the energy of, you know, your relatives and people that you care about, or people that are close to you, or the people that you agree with, then you're not an empath. You just are sensitive to energy. So let's just start there. Let's start there. So even if you are sensitive to energy, whether you're an empath or not, you still can utilize this information that I'm about to give you. So I don't want you to click off. If you still are someone who is energetically drained, you can still benefit from this content. So what is it like to be energetically drained? What are some of the symptoms of you getting energetically drained, or you being too drained from doing whatever it is that you feel that you're called to do? This could be in a service-based industry. This is not just limited to people who actually work with, you know, light work and things like that, or energy healing, like Reiki, tarot readers, and things like that. This is not just limited to them, but if you work in any type of service-based industry, or industry where you are dealing with a lot of people, so this could be like a social worker, this could be a therapist, this could be a hairstylist, an esthetician, a barber, anybody that you are, somebody who is a cook, a chef, if you're dealing with any type of energy exchange in that way, you could be affected by other people's energy. So how do you know if your energy is being pulled too much? Like, what are some of the symptoms? Some of the symptoms could be a migraine. You could get like frequent headaches, sharp headaches in your temple. You can get sometimes, I know I've experienced like nausea around a certain people. Like, I'll start to literally get nauseous around those people, and that's what I consider a spirit. It's just like, time to exit. Stage left. Like, yeah, we gotta get away from these people. You can also feel chills. Like, you can feel like goosebumps, or what we call them, like chills, or like your neck hair standing up on the back of your neck. You can feel that as well sometimes. Another indication is that or the most common indication that you are energetically drained, is you literally feeling drained and exhausted physically. So you might be too tired to get out of bed. You might hit that alarm time 5 times more than you normally would. You might be feeling really low. You're not wanting to be around a lot of people. You could feel very secluded, and wanted, like, if you are naturally somebody who likes to go out and be around your friends and hang out with family and things like that, and you just all of a sudden feel like you don't want to be around anybody, you don't want to answer your phone. A lot of times this is because you have now gotten to a place of depletion, and your spirit is trying to protect itself by avoiding or doing whatever it is so that you can avoid people. Sometimes this also looks like you getting physically sick. So you might actually get sick. Like, if you're not somebody who gets sick often and you just randomly get sick, it is because spirit wants you to sit down. Spirit wants you to, and spirit works in mysterious ways. So sometimes I've even seen like some of my clients, like, oh, this was completely random. Like, they'll get in a car wreck or something like that, and it was in the time that they are, they could have gotten injured. I had a client who fell down a flight of steps and broke her ankle, but it was literally just so spirit could sit her down. Spirit works in mysterious ways. However, we don't want to get to the point where spirit is forcing us to sit down. We want to be able to protect our energy and be at a safe space so that we do not, get to a place where we're now being forced to sit down. Because a lot of times we don't want to sit down. We don't want to be forced. You don't want to have to be in pain or lose something important to you for you to get the signs and the omens that spirit is telling you that, hey, you need to take a break. You need to seclude yourself from everybody else because it's now getting dangerous. So, what are some signs that you are, or what are some reasons why you're being energetically drained in the first place? Because I forget who I was talking to, or I think I was watching a video where somebody was saying like it was Ianifa Chandra. So if you don't know who what Ianifa is a title, but if you guys are familiar with Ifa and things like that, so Ianifa Chandra Charisse is an Iya, which is short for mom or mother in Yoruba, in the Yoruba language, but she is a priestess or whatever, and she was saying in a video, she was saying like, it's when we are energy workers, or if you're a light worker or something like that, it's supposed, if you're serving in any way, not just light workers, but if you are someone who serves in any way, if you have a purpose to serve or a passion to serve, you're supposed to be drained. You're supposed to have, so if you're not drained at all, it means you're not serving enough. It means you're not giving enough. If you're always at 100, just think of it as like your phone battery. If your phone battery never goes down to 60% or 80% or hell 90%, if it never goes down, typically that means you're not using it. You just charged it up and you just go sit it down somewhere, but you're not using it. So the battery obviously isn't going to drain. But if you're actually using your gifts, using your purpose, and helping people in the way that you should be serving, it's natural for you to be drained, because that means people are using you. You are supposed to be getting used. Like, if you're not being used, you're useless. So we have to get out of the mindset of thinking that, we're not supposed to get used, or, such and such is using me. Like, well, if you are being used, you should take that, as a sign that you're doing something right. If nobody wants to use you, then that means you have nothing to offer them to be used. We're supposed to be used, but we're not supposed to be getting abused. We're not supposed to, be getting drained to the point where, we're depleted. That's where we have the problem. So how do we get to a point, or why are we getting to a point of depletion? Well, for one, the first thing is that we are not setting boundaries as people pleasers. Or as people who have a passion and a heart to serve. We have to be able to set boundaries. We have to be able to set up systems where we can still give at an abundance. We are able to give and serve people at a high rate, at an excellent rate, and an abundance, without feeling like, hey, I need to take a month off. I got to take a few weeks off so that I can get myself back together. You should be able to incorporate practices and things like that without you getting that far. You should be able to incorporate certain things and have certain things in place where you are not draining yourself to a place where, now you have to sit down and you can't serve people at all for an extended amount of time. That is not healthy. That is not good. We never want to give, like, just like for your phone. You don't want your phone, like, and I'm guilty of doing this all the time. Like, I would literally be sitting right beside my charger and let it die. But in our life, we don't want to get to that point. We don't want to get to a point where we're at zero and we completely die out, or we're at the place of almost dying out before we charge back up. We don't want to do that. We want to, get to wherever you're going to get. For one, we shouldn't even start our day with serving until we are giving from our overflow. So that starts with that. If you are not at an over 100% charged, if you're not giving from an abundance of energy, then you already starting the day off wrong. If you don't have that energy to give, then you need to be setting up boundaries that are pretty much you need to be setting up boundaries that allow you to get yourself together before you help anybody else, or before you attempt to serve anybody else. If people are used to calling your phone all the time and asking you for advice, asking you to borrow something, asking you for something, but you got a lot of people pulling at you and have a lot of expectations for you, you need to have systems in place where they understand that until this is done, or until I'm ready to come to you, then this is not going to happen. This could be your employer. You could be somebody, because again, if we are people who love to serve and we love to help people, it's in our nature to give. It's in our nature to do more. And I am not somebody who ever is going to tell you to stop loving people the way that you like to love. You should not ever stop loving the way that you want to love. You should just be more cautious of who you are allowing to reciprocate this energy to, because when we are giving at a high rate, or we're giving and serving all day every day because that's what we love to do, we have to also understand that this needs to be reciprocated. Now, when I say that this energy needs to be reciprocated, I don't mean I do something good for you, you do something good back for me. I mean, it needs to be reciprocated where you are giving to people who are appreciative of you giving it to them. That's what I mean. So say, for instance, if I'm a coach and I decide to take a student under my wing, and they didn't have to pay for one of my courses, but I just wanted to invest in you. I see something in you and I just want to serve you for free. I would feel used and abused if I feel like I give you this information, you do absolutely nothing for it. Is that my problem? Absolutely, because I didn't have to do that in the first place. However, I have to understand that if I want to give this stuff for free, if I want to give this energy to you, there's no expectations from you directly. However, there is an expectation that I would feel like it's reciprocated if you're actually doing the work, if you're actually utilizing the information that I give you, if you're actually on a wellness journey, if you actually are, benefiting from the energy that I'm giving to you guys. I, as a content creator, I do not get anything out of, making videos for the world to see for free. I'm not getting nothing out of this. So if I'm up here serving and creating videos every single day so that somebody else can help, somebody can get that, get this information and it can help you, then the reciprocity would be you guys in the comments telling me, hey, this information is amazing. That's the reciprocity to me. letting me know like, hey, you guys, hey, Yinka, I love this video. I utilize this information. You are right on. That's reciprocity to me. That does not mean that you are giving me exactly what I give to you, but reciprocity is appreciation. So when you are giving to people, are you giving to people who are ungrateful? Are you giving to people who have shown you time and time again that they really don't value the energy that you're giving to them? That's how you set up that boundary. You can do it with your employer. You can do it with your children. You can do it with your partners. You can do it with your family, because as natural healers and natural givers, we tend to do without wanting anything in return. But as natural healers, our reciprocity would be gratitude. Our reciprocity will be gratitude. Just show me that you're grateful. That don't necessarily mean you telling me, hey, thank you. I mean, obviously that's common courtesy, but it's not always just a thank you. Sometimes it's just you doing the stuff that I told you to do, or utilizing the advice that I give you, or you actually just turning your life around by, you ain't got to say nothing to me, but I have people, customers or followers. I call all my followers customers because y'all gonna be customers one day. But I call my followers. If I have a follower who's just like, they never spent no money with me ever, but they'll be under my comments and be like, hey, I got off birth control from watching your content. I'm vegan now from watching your content. That's reciprocity to me. That's showing me that my content, whether I get a direct applaud right there, whether you liked it, whether you shared it, whether you do any of that, you telling me that you have changed because of the information that I give you, is reciprocity to me. That's what keeps me going. That's how I continue to be able to give out content without feeling depleted, because there's always somebody every single day letting me know, hey, keep doing what you're doing. I'm getting something from this. I love it here. Like that's what keeps me going. That's the reciprocity. And I don't need it from everybody. All I needed is from one person a day. If I don't wake up and I don't see it nowhere, I mean, I'm not gonna feel like, I ain't gonna feel useless, but I see it every day, and that's what keeps me going, honestly. So learning how to set boundaries, learning how to give from your overflow and not giving when you don't have it to give. So the second reason why you are energetically drained is because you don't have any idea what's your energy and what's somebody else's energy. You haven't been tuned in with yourself, tapped in with yourself long enough to know, or in depth enough to know what's your energy and what's not your energy. So this goes to the conversation of soul ties and soul bondings and things like that. A lot of people think that, somebody has a hex on me, somebody has a bonding spell on me, like I can't get over this person. A lot of times, majority of the times, that is just people who don't want to take accountability. There's a lot of people who don't want to acknowledge, like, I just still can't, like, they're just not being real with themselves. And most of the time, you don't have a spell on you. You don't have a veil over your eyes. You don't have none of that. It's just you don't want to acknowledge the truth of the matter, which is you still care for that person, which is okay. But a lot of times, a lot of us deal with other people's energy, and being that we're so sensitive to energy, we think that we're energetically drained because we're feeling someone else's energy. This is why it's important to, again, know who you are giving your energy to. This is not just necessarily romantic relationships, but platonic as well. Anytime you're doing an energy exchange, who are you giving this energy to? If you're dealing with clients, and this is me as an esthetician, and also me, as a light worker or an intuitive reader, I have to be cautious of the energy that I exchange with people, because obviously you're coming to me to get well. And again, energy just transfers. It does not die. So if we the only ones in the room, where is that energy gonna go? It could go to the plants, it could go to my stones, it could go to me, it could go anywhere in the room, but it's my responsibility to protect all living things in that energy, in that space. It's my responsibility to do that, and it's my responsibility to be able to identify, this is not my energy. I am not somebody who is typically depressed. I am not somebody who is typically angry. I am not somebody who's typically, anxious all the time and fearful all the time. So if I'm feeling these emotions, I have to be able to identify them as someone else's emotions and learn how to release those things. So how do you release other people's energy? You can do a number of things to release other people's energy, but first you have to be able to identify what it is. Like, is this my energy or is this somebody else's energy? If it is your energy indeed, then that's another thing. Well, you can do it the same way, but let's identify if it's your energy. One of the things that I do before I go live, before I do any type of service, Yanni steaming session, before I do an event or anything like that, before I start, I always say, make sure that I say a prayer to make sure that I am protected, that any energy that needs to go, that's why I do a lot of things outside, so the energy can go out into the ethers and not onto other people. I do a lot of events and things like that outside. That's one way. And if you are secluded in a building, after something is done, after you perform the service, after you do something, you always say, especially after intercourse, okay? Especially after intercourse, you want to make sure that you affirm that all of your energy is received back to you, and any energy that is not yours, that it goes back to sender. Once I learned that a few years ago, like anytime I have intercourse, like I make sure that I say that afterwards, because a lot of you guys, you are feeling depressed, you are feeling lonely, you are feeling, not yourself like how you used to be, because the person that you are sleeping with is gaining all of your good energy and you're taking all of their bad energy. And I say this with caution, but I also say this very intentionally. It's a lot. We hear a lot of women talking about love spells and things like that, but these men be giving out more love spells than women. Let me be very clear. These men are trying to bind women way more often than women are binding men. We see this in the single mother rate. A lot of men are out here impregnating women who they had no intentions of ever being with or ever taking care of their child, but they just want the attachment. They want that bonding to that woman, to you will always be my baby mama. That's one way. Another way is how many women are in marriages right now who they're trying to get divorced from, and men will not sign the papers. That's another time, another act of control and another binding that men try to bind women with, as far as like keeping them captive or keeping them connected to them, and continuing to have energy from them, whether they reciprocate it or not. So men do this way more often than women do. It's just not talked about as much. So y'all need to protect yourselves. Make sure that y'all are protecting yourself anytime. And prevention is always better than treatment, okay? Prevention is always better than treatment. So before you even have to do, reversal spells and cord cuttings and all that other stuff, make sure that you are intentional with who you laying down with in the first place, okay? Because a lot of times I'm all for accountability. I'm all for checking myself and ownership of what I'm doing wrong and what decisions I'm choosing to make. If I chose to deal with this person, that's on me first and foremost. However, I have to live with that decision. But I also have to make sure that I don't make that same mistake again, that I don't repeat that same cycle again. So how am I able to identify somebody who really doesn't care for me, somebody who really doesn't have my best interest at heart? How am I able to identify that? That's how you can start to avoid those type of situations where you are in a situation where somebody is just putting all their energy, on their negative energy, on you, and then they're just receiving all of your good. And this happens in platonic friendships as well. Don't get it twisted. It's a lot of women who or people in general. There's a lot of people who will befriend you because they love your energy, or they're trying to befriend you because they get clout from being attached to you, or they know, like, everything attached to you seems like it's winning, so let me get a little bit of that. But they have no intention whatsoever on lifting you up or helping you be a better person or making sure that you have a safe place to go to, because you give so much. Like, they just trying to take from you too, from on the inside. So be very cautious of the people that you are allowing into your space. Like, a lot of people say, oh, you by yourself all the time. Like, absolutely. It's about 3 people in this planet who has access to me on a close basis. 3 people. 3 people who can actually say they got access, like they can call me at any time and I'll answer the phone. Like, 3 people on this planet. So let's be very clear on, yes, I give at a high level, but I ain't too many people close to me on that level. That's a fact. All right. So the last reason why you are energetically drained, and ways that you can help with that is, hold up. Oh, You don't have an outlet. You don't have an outlet. So the last reason that you are energetically drained is because you don't have a place where you can charge back up to. You don't have a thing that you do to charge back up to. A lot of us, again, wait until we're completely depleted, and then it's like, oh, well, I need to go pray. Oh, let me go to the altar. Let me go to church. Let me go, outside. Let me go for a walk. Your daily practice should be protecting your energy and charging up. Before I speak to anybody, before I take a call from a client, before I do any type of service, before I go live, before I post anything, before I speak to anybody, I am doing what I need to do to make sure that my energy is giving from an overflow. The reason why I do a lot of my live streams and things like that at night is because until like maybe 3 or 4 o'clock, I'm still doing my rituals and my my self-care to make sure that I'm able to go live and give y'all the energy that y'all deserve. What would I look like getting up at 9-10 o'clock, and then by 12 o'clock I'm giving y'all, trying to go live and give y'all some energy when I haven't even finished? I ain't drank my tea, I ain't prayed, I ain't spent time at my altar, I ain't went for a walk, I ain't got no sunshine, I ain't stretched, I ain't did nothing to make sure that I am at my complete highest vibration before I give my energy out to anybody else. So a lot of you guys don't have outlets and you don't practice it. If you do have outlets, you're not practicing it and put it into your daily regimen. So if you're going to work at a place where you are, it's very demanding and you are expected to do a lot of energy transferring. Again, this social work, this is therapist, this is anybody working in a prison, in a hospital, anything like that, where it's very high demanding with a lot of low frequencies. You want to make sure that before you leave the house that you are suited up. And when I say suited up, you got crystals going, you got your smudging going, you got your prayers on, your armor of prayers and everything else before you step foot out of your door. That needs to be a part of your daily regimen. That is not something that's not something you should take lightly, or something that you should only be doing once you already at zero. By the time you come home, you shouldn't be completely exhausted. And I'm not saying that never happens, where you just got a certain day, maybe once out of the week, once every other week or whatever, should be a time where you just feel exhausted after the day. That's okay. That's cool if you're in a high demanding career. But on a daily basis, you should be charged up enough to be able to go and handle the stresses of work and still be okay. You shouldn't be, every time you come home, you done gave everything that you had to give to your employer and then come home to your family to give them the bare minimum. You should have enough energy to give them what they need to get, and then come home and still be able to serve your family, to be nurturing to your family, to be kind to your family without giving them the butt end of your energy. Okay? So let me know if you guys are empaths and if this information was helpful to you. If you work in the service industry, or if you do anything of service or that's high demanding, let me know if you tried any of these and if they work for you. Thank y'all so much for trusting me with this information. Make sure that you like this if you got any value from it, and I will see you guys down in the comments. Y'all, I do read the comments, so make sure that y'all are commenting. I'll see you guys down there, and make sure that you are subscribed, because there's plenty more videos where this came from. I'll talk to you guys later.